Listen, I wanted to address this, Karen, because I wanted to read on the screen, Miss Lady, because they've been putting up these comments all the time. And I just wanted to put it to rest again. Miss Lady, you took out your money before Clico went under. You had inside information. I don't want you to go into the
Okay,
long.
number one, the EFPA, whatever they call it, which is the 10%. I got Clico to write a letter. They wrote it and they did exhaustive research thing. I never had it. My husband never had it. My children never had it. What you are talking about is Clico Investment Bank. And if I took, and when they say I took out my money, who would give me that information? It would have to be somebody inside of Clico, CIB, somebody inside of Clico Investment Bank that would have had to tell me that. And the way that I have dealt with Clico Investment Bank and Clico, when they came, and the Prime Minister gave me no instructions, came to me on the Friday when I was supposed to meet with them and wanted the government to just give them money. I said, no, we're not doing that. You have to give us a guarantee, and we need to put assets to back the money that the taxpayers given you. You think there are people who were not treated as people and they know who they are. They know who they are. And they were the ones who started that. And if it was true, would you not think by now, number one, I would shut up my mouth and not say anything against the PNM government, because they will have that over my head to shut my mouth up. And secondly, if it were true, why don't they bring the person to say that who it is that told me directly or indirectly? Because I do know that they had a company set up as a marketing company that was an investigation company to find out who in CIB told me. What you should ask yourself, what I think, and I didn't fully appreciate, the reason that CIB was going under was most of the investment in CIB was in state enterprises like Unit Trust, NIB, National Gas Company. That is where billions of our dollars were invested, and they were being paid huge dividends. I did not handle the state enterprises. I did not deal with the state enterprises. What I did say is that permanent deputy premier must go to all of these meetings and report. What I did say is that if anything is untoward occurring in any of the state enterprises, I need to be told. I was told nothing. I never knew, number one, the product that they had in, because it's a family-owned company. You're doing like if it's on the stock exchange, and like I was working there. My husband died in 2004. I had nothing to do with Clico. They treat me bad. So when it happened in the end of 2000, which was a global financial crisis, so these companies, which I did not know at the time, and in the room was Permanent Secretary Alison Lewis, and in the room was the governor of the central bank, and in the room was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and I am in the room, and I turned to the Prime Minister and said, Prime Minister, about 2 weeks ago, I took out my money out of CIB, and he didn't tell me anything. And I said it in front of Alison Lewis. Let us say I am lying. Let the governor say that I'm lying, and that I did not know that NGC and all those UTC and all of them said that they were not reinvesting. And I won't call the name of the person because I like the person, so I wouldn't want to call the name of the person. The person went to a certain individual to say if they could get the Prime Minister, the government, to reinvest in Clico Investment Bank as it was going to collapse. I knew nothing. And when we had that meeting that day, when the governor told me that he had gotten a letter from Lawrence Supre, on that day of that meeting is when I found out what had happened, and I was never told a word. I did not know. And that responsibility is state enterprises. The vision of state enterprises should have or had to have known what was going on, and that they had said that they were not putting back their money. And CIB went begging a certain individual to try and persuade the Prime Minister, because they thought I had no power and I just there for I don't know what, for them to put back money. The Prime Minister gave me no instructions. I didn't know any of that. I was not even told. He went to the Permanent Secretary and told her, and I said, why did you tell me? He couldn't even answer why he didn't tell me. But I did not know. And ask the person, ask all of them if I am telling the truth. Ask all of them if I'm telling the truth. Ask the people who are at the top of CIB if I'm telling the truth. Because I have to be a mad person to be criticizing the government as harshly as I do, defending myself as I do, and saying, bring out the person, bring him on the pavement. 10 years now, you can't bring out a person. 10 years now, you won't publish a commission of inquiry into CL Financial. What? Why? I am telling you to do it because you're lying, and you know you are lying. And there are certain people who are protecting themselves and making me take the fall. Why don't we find out from state enterprises if they knew what was going on and ask them if they ever told the Minister of Finance what was happening? Why don't you ask them? Why don't you ask the permanent secretary what happened in that meeting? Why don't you ask the governor of the central bank what happened in the meeting when I told the prime minister that I took out my money and I said, and at that time, there was no run. I didn't even know that. All I knew was a global financial crisis, and CIB was in trouble long time ago, the way they were being mismanaged. And then you ask those people who shut up and have made me take the fall for all these years. I'm not taking it anymore. I am not taking it anymore. Let them say, if anything I have said is not true, let them say, I challenge them. They know who it is. I call it a thing. Let them say if I am telling a lie.
Karen, we're gonna leave it there, Karen. We are ending on that note where you have laid it out for the people, and you're telling them, listen. I mean, I work at the New York Stock Exchange, and if it had anything to do with insider trading, it is easy to prove because somebody had to tell somebody. And if you can't find the person who supported
in 10 years
was to tell you, you know it's fiction.
And not only that, if I had done what they said I did, I have to be mad to criticize them because they will right now, one of the people they probably hate the most is me because they will make it in business to make sure they destroy me and bring out the person who told me. But they have other people they need to ask those questions. Who knew? Who knew that NGC, NIB, and them had said that they were not putting back their money? Who knew that? And who didn't tell me?
Karen, you are innocent. Karen, you are innocent. And even God Tommy says so is so.
Yes, because you know why, Tommy? Tommy, you know why? Because of calling names and a calling titles. And ask any of them, Mr. Manning is not there to talk, but all of them, ask them and let them say if I am lying.